The president's mental and physical condition cannot be ignored. More than 120 retired generals and admirals have signed an open letter questioning Biden's mental health and backing up disputes over the election. Meanwhile, Elon Musk just killed Bitcoin as the charts go plummeting down, down, down. Grab onto your seat, baby, because this one is gonna get bumpy. Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Obvious, and today, whether it's the late night, evening, or morning, whenever you are watching this, we are here, and we need to talk about very important stories now. The Colonial Pipeline that was hacked restarts, but the supply chain won't return to normal for a few days. Meanwhile, the stock market plunged, Bitcoin plunged, crypto plunged. It's been a terrible time. But let's talk about it, folks, because I think it is going to be a-okay. Now, do me a favor, if you're watching this video, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications for more content. Folks, we've got a lot to talk about, so lately, there's been a lot of talk about shortages and the decline of the US economy. Yes, all of this is true. We are currently undergoing inflation. It is already here, and now the media is finally talking about it. I said it like weeks ago. Inflation is already here, and it's likely going to get worse. Meanwhile, we're seeing news reports about food shortages, oil shortages, after a pipeline got hacked. But the good news is that this hacked Colonial Pipeline, well, it's back online. It's gonna come back. Of course, the supply chain shock won't stop for a couple days. In other news, people are freaking out because Elon rug pulled Bitcoin. Is this the end of the bull market? Folks, I don't think so. You see, you had multiple things happening at once. The stock market plunged, the S&P 500 plunged, it all plunged. And here you can see in the following tweet by Elon Musk, Tesla and Bitcoin. He goes on to say that Tesla has suspended vehicle purchases using Bitcoin. We are concerned about rapidly increasing use of fossil fuels for Bitcoin mining and transactions, especially coal, which has the worst emissions of any fuel. Doesn't this guy fly rockets? Now, I find this whole post very ironic for a few reasons. One of those reasons is very simple. Doesn't Tesla and his company SpaceX use rockets? And don't those rockets burn up a ton of fuel? How many hydrocarbons are they putting out into the atmosphere when they burn those rockets to punch a hole through the Earth's atmosphere to go to space? Probably a lot. Probably a lot. Furthermore, green energy cars are not green energy. Not to mention, they run on batteries, and batteries are very toxic for the environment. I mean, hell, one of Tesla's cars, self-driving cars, hit a tree and then was burning for like 24 hours. Might have been 12 hours. But they couldn't put it out no matter how much water they put on the car. Anyways, he goes on to say that cryptocurrency is a good idea on many levels, and we believe in a promising future, blah, 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 blah. But he doesn't want to hurt the environment. Says Tesla will not be selling any Bitcoin until there's green energy, and they're going to put their money in green coins. Utter nonsense, folks. Utter nonsense. But as you can see in this tweet by TradingView, shortly after Elon made the tweet, and you can see here, he made the tweet up here, Bitcoin was up here, there was a huge, huge dump, folks. Like, it was a nightmare. And now Bitcoin is currently at, 50,400, trying to climb back, trying to recover. I believe we will recover. And, I don't think it was entirely Elon's fault, because the whole markets have crashed. But I do think it was his fault. Like, what a dumb thing to say. This whole narrative about the environment is so idiotic. It really is. And let me tell you why. Did you know that China pollutes more than the next 5 countries combined? More than the USA? More than Germany, more than Japan. China pollutes so much that if you were to get rid of China, the pollution would drop dramatically. Dramatically. Pomp here has a really good tweet. Elon, you realize that 75% of miners use renewable energy, right? This energy story has been debunked over and over again. Anyways, yeah. So let's talk about the letter to the editor for Joe Biden. Was that a JoJo reference? Life is a JoJo reference. Here in the Daily Mail, his mental and physical condition cannot be ignored. More than 120 retired generals and admirals sign open letters questioning Biden's mental health and backing claims over election impropriety. We all know the deal. So let's look down here. Let's see what this is all about. Why are they worried about his mental health? I don't think they're the only ones. The group calls itself Flag Officers for America and consists of retired military officers, including military admirals. The FBI and Supreme Court must act swiftly when election irregularities are surfaced and not ignore them as done in 2020, they wrote. This letter was published on Politico. It goes on to talk about election integrity. It goes on to say, quote, election integrity demands ensuring there is one legal vote cast and counted per citizen. Legal votes are identified by the state's legislature's approved controls using government IDs, verified signatures, etc., they write. Quote, today, many people are calling such common sense, voter ID controls, racist, in an attempt to avoid having fair and honest elections. Using racial terms to suppress proof of eligibility is itself a tyrannical intimidation tactic, they write. So, the two main points about this letter are that Biden has control of the nuclear codes, and by all means, he does not seem to be, well, there are many out there who believe that he is not in perfect mental or physical health. And for a president, you want both mental and physical health. Drinking mint tea, folks. Oh, throat's a little dry. It's very good. Here you can see the letter, Flag Officers for America. It says, our nation is in deep peril. We will fight for our survival as a constitutional republic like no other time since our founding in 1776. The conflict between oh my God. Okay, so they go on to say, the conflict is between supporters of socialism and Marxism versus supporters of constitutional freedom and liberty. Based and red-pilled. Wow, I mean, this letter is amazing. So, I'm not going to go over the whole letter, but it basically criticizes the Democrats and their policies. They're saying that the way that Democrats are conducting elections are not honest. They're saying that we need government IDs, and I honestly agree. Like, you need an ID to buy booze. You need an ID to get a license. You need an ID to get insurance. How can you take the most important responsibility of an American, voting, and say that you don't need IDs? It is absolutely ludicrous. And they go on to say that calling this, like, bigoted, calling common sense bad, is really just an intimidation tactic. It's just a way to skirt the law. They go on to say that the H.R.1 Bill, which I've talked about, would destroy election fairness. So it seems like they're really talking about the H.R.1 Bill and about the future of this country. I agree. Democrats have done nothing but attack the Constitution, attack our rights. They're talking about taking away our everything, our right to own guns, freedom of speech. And they go on to list a bunch of grievances, and that Biden himself may not be fit to be president. I mean, like, mentally. Because, there are many questions on his mental health. So, I want to read this paragraph. They go on to say that the mental and physical condition of the commander-in-chief cannot be ignored. He must be able to quickly make accurate national security decisions involving life and limb anywhere, day or night. Recent Democrat leadership's inquiries about nuclear code procedures sends a dangerous national security signal to nuclear-armed adversaries, raising the question about who is in charge. He must always have an unquestionable chain of command. Okay. So, there has been chatter of people other than Biden having control of the nuclear codes. Now, why would anyone request this if they thought that Biden was fit to hold those codes? There is a lot of good points in this letter, and I suggest that you read it for yourself and make up your own mind. So, where does that leave us? What's going to happen with the stock market? What's going to happen with crypto? I think that we are going to be okay and not okay. Let me explain. With the pipeline back up, here you can see, Colonial Pipeline pumps again after a Russian cyber attack shut it down for 6 days. Trump mocks Biden as worse than Carter after up to 2/3 of stations in southern states ran dry. Well, I believe that the stock market will recover. Bitcoin will recover. I believe that we have a lot of support for these things. Bitcoin, for example, has support at like 48K. That's a 20-week SMA. Long story short, I think we're going to be okay. Elon Musk and his tweet kind of crashed crypto, but I think crypto is going to be okay. Usually, when there is a crash caused by a tweet, it will recover. That's kind of how it goes. Market goes up, market goes down, goes back up. And with the pipeline back, the economy should recover a little bit too, because oil basically determines the whole market. So If you have oil, you have fuel to transport things, can move supplies, and so on and so forth. The last thing I want to talk about is Liz Cheney. So many people are talking about this girl. Liz Cheney tells Trump to bring it on and vows to never allow him anywhere near the Oval Office again after she is removed from Republican leadership. Wow. So, for those of you that know about Liz Cheney, you know that she's gone extremely anti-Trump, anti-conservative, and she was just removed from Republican leadership. Okay, now I want to be nice. It's sad that she lost her position, but also I think that she is insane. Who in the world thinks that they have the authority, the right, to say that I'm never going to let a president, become president again? I hope that she thinks very hard about what she's saying. Liz Cheney told Donald Trump to bring it on after she was ousted from House Republican leadership on Wednesday. Republicans voted her out in less than 15 minutes. The move cements Donald Trump's hold on the Republican Party. But that, my friends, is pretty much the story. I've got places to go, so we're going to leave it right there. And needless to say that it's only been 4 months of Joe Biden as president and the Democrats in charge, and it's been an absolute disaster. I wonder if people are missing Trump, because I sure am. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this story? Let me know down below in the comment section. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Support the channel by joining me on Patreon or Subscribestar. Joining will give you access to a private Discord server. Fight Club. First rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.